Welcome to the channel, guys. I thought we'd go over an interesting video today. I've got a few chainsaws now because I got 6 steels and a couple of electrics, and I'm just kind of shocked at I'm building another steel from parts. So I'm having to buy all these tools to work on two strokes or saws. First thing, you buy your saw. I buy mine off of eBay. They're old steels. And you may have to buy a new bar and chain and then a new scabbard. Had to find a box for this one. This is the 009L. She's a pretty old one. She runs great though. Had her out cutting a little bit of some limbs that I trimmed up. But and then everyone knows you got to get a little orange screwdriver. Give y'all a little hint. If you just take a knife and put a couple little slits in, it already had the middle line. I just did the 2 other lines, and you can always it's very easy to do one turn out. If you can see, you got an arrow pointing one direction, so help y'all out. Scrunches, I've got 3 of them. I still have a saw that doesn't have a scrunch too, so that's the coolest one. The old steel one came with that, and actually both of those came with this saw. So after I put a bar and chain on it, started cutting wood. Well, you cut wood, it gets dull. Then I had to learn what size file and depth gauge for my rakers that my saw took. And this one's 3/8 Pico. My 024 is a 325. So it has its own kit that I just leave with the saw. It's got the correct file, all the correct files and stuff in there to keep that chain sharp as shit. So that helps for that one. I think the rest of them I'm going to do the same thing because I still got to get 404 and 325 non-Pico, and I think that's and a 1/4 Pico. So I got a lot of different chains, but I got a lot of different saws. So now you got all your chains sharp, you've got everything tuned up. Here's a tool I already had that came in real handy. I keep it in my chainsaw tools. The first time I used it was to untie a knot replacing a pull handle. So you'd be amazed how hard it is to get a 30-year-old knot out. That thing comes in hella handy. Over here I got a spark plug. Well, 4 of my saws use 1 plug, so they sell them in 10 packs, and you're not supposed to reuse them, so I recommend you buy a 10-pack or 2 of plugs. This saw uses this plug. That saw uses that plug. I think the 024 does, but I haven't looked. The 020 does. The 020 AV does. So there's some more tools that you had to get. Well, I've replaced a couple of coils. I had to buy this little strip of brass to set the proper air gap on the coil when I put it on. Can't find it, or I'd show it to you. I guess I'm gonna have to order another one because I thought it was in here with the 009, but I cannot find it. Hopefully it's in the house where all the 200T parts are. I don't keep them in the saw shop. Here's one I had to buy. So you have to be able to pull a crank flywheel off your crankshaft. So you got to buy that thing. That thing's not much. It doesn't fit all my saws either. I know the 08 needs a different flywheel puller. Can't find one for the 08. I think Steel was the only one that made one. The 020 AV came with a bar and chain, but it was pretty nappy looking. Had to buy a bar dresser. This is just a file that's held at a perfect 90, so you can get rid of the burr on the edge of your bar. You also can level both of your rails. So very important tool. I just picked this up, only used it on that saw. This tool I don't think I really needed. I bought it just for tuning because it would help set the idle and the maximum RPM as well. So I scored this off of eBay, but electronic digital tack. This is no touch. You just push this end of it up against the spark plug wire or close, and it will tell you the RPMs the saw is doing. It's pretty amazing. When the 051 or 075 aren't making spark, I set it down here and it'll tell me if I'm getting spark. There leads into another thing, you know, if you're working on them, if they're broken saws, you may have to get an owner's manual and a repair manual for them. Those aren't cheap. Actually, they're not bad. See, there's one of the coils. 009L unlimited coil. Need to find my little air gap gauge. I thought it was in here. I swore it was in here, but I also put an unlimited coil on the 200T chassis, so it's probably in there. So there's all kinds of tools, guys, that you're never going to think of until you need them. It's going to be a lot easier to work on saws if you already have those. All right, my good friend Tin Man Saws, he gave me this idea. In this bottle is 2-stroke oil. Whenever I need to, I'm afraid a saw doesn't have enough oil in it, I can give it a squirt in the gas tank. Or when I'm building stuff, I gotta change in seals, I can lubricate the crankshaft to slip the new seal on. I could even put a couple drips in a bearing, give it a little pre-lube before we start it up. But yeah, you need some oils once in a while, and being able to administer it very precisely would be good. This is my big old oil bottle. This one I use for bar and chain oil. If I have a oil pump that's not working, I've had to rebuild the oil pump on this one. And the 08, I still don't think I have the 08s working 100%, but sometimes you have to actually put oil, pre-oil a bar. So just a couple of oil cans will just make your life so much easier. Imagine trying to pour oil out of that onto a bar while you pull up the chain link so you can get it down underneath. Never gonna happen. Back to parts, you're gonna need somewhere to keep all your parts because you're gonna have a lot of parts for chainsaws. It's just the way it is. You know, flywheel down there. I tried to pull it without pulling the nut off the flywheel. Yeah, kind of yanked all the threads out of it. Had to buy another flywheel. When I did AV on the 075 and 051, I ended up buying another one of those. So I would have this bolt that got wrecked. This one little bolt, it's all bent and wrecked. So this little thing came with a new bolt and some old AV mounts. That's a new one though. See, I keep some. This little back handle one, I think they go out the most, so I keep extras of those. But obviously I just did them, so they're good now. You know, this tub here holds all the extras. Got my chains down here, my extra chains for my electrics. If they're open, they hang. Here's the 14-inch bar for the Milwaukees. For this Milwaukee anyway. Little top handle, and then I got the other Milwaukee over there hiding. The M12 hatchet with a 10-inch bar and chain. Here's the 08. I'll probably pull this one out and start it just because I love hearing it run. It just pops. Don't really need to cut anything else today, but here's a good tip. When your saws are sitting around, take you some Fun Noodle and shove them on the bucking spikes, and you may save yourself some pain because those things hurt. Yeah, that's the 08. This shorter one is for the 51 and 75, and this one, well, came with that. So yeah, there's a lot to think about when you get into these little saws. They're fun. It's fun to work on them. It's fun to run them. Working on them, well, yeah, it's fun too. But if you don't have the right tools, working on them is going to be rough. So you don't have to go out and buy all steel tools either. You know, I do just because they're on eBay. I can get that still, so I'm going to. But you don't have to. So have a good one, guys.